Hey there, welcome to this presentation on finding your purpose and mission and vision for your life. And I'm really excited to present a little bit of material about myself and the organization that I work at, and that's the Center for Urban Teaching. We exist to identify, prepare, and support high-performing teachers and leaders. So a little bit about myself. My name is Al Shar, and I've taught in 3 different cities at 4 different schools. I was in Kenosha at a place called Freedom's Lutheran, and I taught grades 5 through 8, 6 through 8 history science for 1 year, and then I was at 5th grade for 4 years there. And then I took a leap of faith and jumped into the work here in Milwaukee. I jumped zip codes, cultures, and grade levels all way out of my comfort zone. And I learned a lot in Milwaukee there at Garden Homes, and then was blessed with an opportunity to go back to Racine where I live and help run a school called Wisconsin Lutheran School, which consisted of 3 campuses. And I taught grades 6 through 8 science, and I was the dean of students. And I also, at that point, developed a passion for instructing teachers in what works best for students, and really started to dive deep into bridging the cultural and gender gaps that exist in urban education. And then from there, after 2 years, I had an opportunity to help a school get off the ground. I joined Hope Christian Schools as a 4th grade teacher, and I was the first 4th grade teacher that school had, as they were in a startup season. And while I was starting that process, I got on board with my master's program, which I graduated in 2019, and I've been working here at the Center for Urban Teaching since 2018 as an instructional coach, as a mentor, and as a talent scout, and have been blessed through this organization. And part of my master's program was helping run summer schools, and I also ran summer schools in 2016, 2017, and 2018 as a principal on a principal team managing teachers. A little bit about myself. I love kids. This is my tribe, and we just brought home number 11. And so my soccer experience and being a soccer coach for 10 years, I live with a soccer team. These are all my kids that we've been blessed with, my wife, Molly, and myself. And ultimately, I just really enjoy bringing my past into impacting student lives. And one of my main missions in life is convincing kids not to take some of the paths that I took, and ultimately helping them see Christ through me and giving them the academic gains necessary so that college is an option for them, as I have been blessed tremendously by being led to and through college and as in this career path as an educator. So a little bit about how do you go about determining that? Well, ultimately, we want to do something that we can be paid for. So if you're a person that doesn't know quite what to do with your life, well, making money and having cash flow is very important to have. So a lot of us are just told, like, well, do something that you can make money at. Well, do something that you're good at. Maybe you've heard this before, and just find a profession. And that's part of it, but it's not all of it. And as far as determining why God has wired you up the way he has and given you the specific talents that he's given you. Some people may have told you, well, just do what you love. But if you're doing what you love and you're not getting paid for it, it's really hard to function as a person. If you do what you're good at and what you can be paid for, that's your profession. If you do what you love and you're good at it, that's your passion. And a lot of people out there are doing these things, but they're missing a major component. And that's what the world needs. If what you're doing is something you can get paid for, what you're good at, and you love doing it, and the world needs it, then you're going to have a mission and a vocation. And ultimately, you're going to have this really fancy Japanese word, which is, I pronounce it ikigai. If you have your ikigai, you are meeting all of these needs. And this is where you're going to move and groove and flow and really enjoy what you're doing with your life. And for me, this is the world of education, working with kids. I get paid to work with kids. I love working with kids. I'm pretty good at working with kids. And the world needs people that can breathe life into our youth Frederick Douglass said it best. He said, "We're better off building strong children than fixing broken men." And this world desperately needs people that can use education as a platform to spread the gospel and breathe hope and dreams into our youth and help them see their own uniqueness and see the way they're wired up, the way God made them, and reveal to them the gifts and talents that they have that need developing so that they too can find their purpose in life. If you have what you love and what you're good at and what you can be paid for, but you're missing that piece, what the world needs, you're going to be satisfied, but kind of useless. If you are doing everything, but you don't love it, if you're doing something, but you don't love it, you're going to be comfortable. You're going to be making the money, but you're going to have this kind of empty feeling like something's missing. If you're doing something the world needs, what you can get paid for, and it's what you love, but you're not very good at it, you're going to be excited, but not really certain about what profession to pick up. If you're doing what the world needs, what you love, and you're good at it, but you're not making any money, well, you're going to be fulfilled, but broke. And ultimately, we want to go through a process and figure out, well, how do we find this ikigai for people? And that's a process. First of all, script out everything that you love. What do you love to do? What could you do for your entire life? And even if you never got paid for it, what would you love to do? You can pause the video now and make a list. Otherwise, my example would be, if one thing that I could do, and even if I didn't get paid for it, it would be skateboarding, snowboarding, mountain biking, helping people, mentoring kids, coaching kids, and doing ministry. And so at this time, I want you to pause the video and script out as many things as you love. What are your passions? What are you interested in? Next, I want you to script out number 2. What are you good at? And me personally, I'm really good at solving problems. I really like puzzles. I really like figuring out people and helping people. I really like being active, and I really like sports and athletics and running and biking and swimming and camping with people. And so I'm pretty good at those. What are you good at? I want you to take a moment, pause this video, and script out everything that you know you're good at. The next thing, what can you actually be paid for? And this, for me, would be, I can get paid for running landscaping businesses. I can get paid for doing construction. I've done those things. I can get paid to teach, and I get paid to coach youth sports. What could you get paid for, and how do you see that lining up to what you love and what you're good at? Go ahead and pause this video and script out as many things as you can think of that you could actually get paid for to do. The next thing, what does the world need? Does the world need another video game designer? Is that fulfilling to you? Or does the world need people just like you that can meet people from a variety of backgrounds and understand them and help understand where they're at and help lead them in the next best direction in their life? If that resonates with you, then maybe teaching is for you. But teaching isn't for everybody. That's up to you and the Lord to lead you down the path of what's best for you. But when we have people in our world that have all 4 of these domains that overlap, that's your ikigai, according to Japanese learning. So a little bit about our organization. We're spread across the world. Notice most of our work is in the United States. And here's some of our locations and schools that we work with. We're a consulting agency and a coaching firm that specializes in instructing classroom management to teachers, especially in high poverty areas. And one of those areas is right here, Wisconsin and Milwaukee. We have over 50 schools that we work with and coach at and run professional developments. And our vision is to strive to be the #1 producer and provider of high-performing urban teachers and leaders that are better prepared, better retained, and better positioned to have an increased impact on student achievement. And I'll show you why this is important. CfUT is raising up a legion of young faith-based teachers to be great educators. They will continue to build an army of people who are radically committed so that every child in this city gets the blessing of access to a great education and they can live with purpose. This was written by one of our partner school superintendents, Henry Tyson, who is also a huge advocate of our work. One of our goals is to have 500 teachers in the field this year, and we strive to identify, prepare, and support high-performing teachers and leaders. And we are definitely a Christ-centered organization and love developing people's talents. And Peter writes this in his book: each of you should use whatever gifts you have received to serve others as faithful stewards of God's grace in its various forms. And we are in the business of saving lives. If we can have students in schools for just one extra year, it would have these results. Murder and assault would be reduced by 30%, vehicle theft by 20%, arson by 13%, and burglary and larceny by 6%. Get this: high school dropouts die an average of 9.2 years earlier than their peers. There are no doctors that can say their work almost guarantees a decade of life on earth. Educators, through our work, can guarantee that people that graduate high school will have an average of 10 years on this earth more than their peers that drop out of high school. If you're in the business of helping people and you want to see other people thrive in their lives, then God through you can also show people how to live not only in this life, but also to be prepared for eternity through a personal relationship with Christ. This is a matter of life and death. 100% of CfUT summer school host sites met or exceeded expectations on the Wisconsin School Report Card and student growth. And we're recruiting people. If you don't know if teaching is for you, contact me or another recruiter, and we'll take you through a school. We'll show you other teachers and introduce you to people that were just like you, who didn't know if teaching was for them. But then they met the kids, and they met the teachers, and they met the leaders who are working in these vibrant places that are full of life and a safe haven from the craziness and insanity that is happening in our world every day. Be a superhero and come and join us, and consider being among the ranks of people that show up every day in an environment that is Christ-centered and full of hope and a safe haven from the world as we prepare the next generation of leaders. What's your ikigai? Go ahead and contact me and we can take this conversation further, or you're a CfUT recruiter near you. God's blessings, and I look forward to being in touch.